How many times have you struggled with your own emotions? There are moments in life when we feel we are at war with ourselves, moments when we look inside and don't like what we see, the jealousy we didn't want to feel, the anguish that tightens our chest for no apparent reason, the sadness that insists on remaining, the insecurity that paralyzes us when faced with important decisions, and then we begin to fight against these emotions. We struggle with them. We try to suppress them. We judge ourselves for feeling them. I shouldn't be feeling this. Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? Today's reflection is about how to deal with insecurities, fears, and inner conflicts in a more conscious and balanced way. It's about finding a different path that doesn't involve internal warfare, but rather a loving understanding of who you are. Many of us deeply desire not to be dominated by jealousy, anguish, sadness, or insecurity. We want to achieve a state of inner peace that remains steadfast even in difficult times, even when life challenges us, even when external circumstances are chaotic. And here is a comforting truth: this is not utopia. It is not an impossible ideal reserved only for saints or enlightened beings. It is indeed possible to achieve this peace. It is possible to live with emotional balance and mental clarity, but there is a fundamental condition. It is necessary to do the right inner work, and the right inner work doesn't begin by fighting your emotions. It begins by understanding them. We all have emotions and behaviors that we often call sick, wrong, or negative. We say, "I'm sick with jealousy. My anxiety is killing me. This sadness isn't normal." But here's something that can completely transform your relationship with yourself. From the perspective of deep self-knowledge and true emotional intelligence, there are no unhealthy emotions. There are only emotions. They are basic instincts, natural responses, legitimate manifestations of human experience. Jealousy is an emotion. Fear is an emotion. Sadness is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. None of them is, in itself, sick or wrong. What causes suffering is not the emotion itself. What causes suffering is how we interpret it and how we react to it. When you feel jealous and immediately think, "I'm a horrible person for feeling this way," you're adding a layer of suffering on top of the original emotion. You're judging yourself, condemning yourself, rejecting yourself. When you feel sadness and desperately fight to suppress it, you are creating a resistance that paradoxically makes the sadness more intense and longer lasting. Joy, sadness, and fear are part of life. They are universal experiences that all human beings feel at some point, to some degree. There's no escaping them, and there shouldn't be. Emotional maturity isn't about not feeling certain emotions. Emotional maturity is about understanding that none of these experiences are permanent. Sadness comes, and it passes. Joy comes, and it passes. Fear comes, and it passes. Everything is transient. Everything is impermanent. And when you understand this deeply, when you internalize this truth, something is set free within you. It's possible to feel sadness without despair. You can be sad and at the same time know, deep down, that this sadness won't last forever. You can honor your sadness, fully feel what needs to be felt, without drowning in it. It's possible to feel joy without attachment. You can fully enjoy happy moments without desperately clinging to them, without living in fear that they will end, because you know they will end, and that they will come again. Everything is cyclical. It's possible to feel fear without letting it control you. Fear, when properly understood, is a signal, an alert, a form of protection. It tells you, pay attention. There's something here that needs attention. And you can use this information without letting fear completely paralyze you. Every emotional conflict has a root. It always does. Nothing arises from nothing. That outburst of anger you had yesterday didn't start yesterday. That excessive jealousy you feel didn't begin in this relationship. That deep insecurity that accompanies you didn't originate in the last work meeting. Often, these roots are linked to our personal history, to childhood experiences, to unprocessed traumas, to emotional wounds that never healed properly. And often these roots go even deeper. They are linked to our spiritual history, to experiences from other existences, to the patterns we carry with us when we incarnate as part of our evolutionary process. The behaviors that bother us, the outbursts of anger, the possessive jealousy, the paralyzing anxiety are merely the visible effects of these deeper roots. They are like the leaves of a tree. You can pluck the leaves, but as long as the root remains intact, new leaves will sprout. To transform these patterns of truth in a profound and lasting way, it's no use fighting them. It's no use repeatedly tearing off the leaves. You have to go to the root. And here's something paradoxical, yet profoundly true. Fighting an unwanted emotion only strengthens your attachment to it. Think about it. When you say, "I hate this insecurity of mine," you're creating a conflict with a part of yourself. You're internally divided. One part of you feels insecure. Another part hates the part that feels insecure. And this internal conflict consumes vital energy, generates additional suffering, and, ironically, perpetuates exactly what you want to eliminate. So what is the way forward? if it's not to fight, if it's not to suppress, if it's not to judge what is to be done. The key is to learn to observe emotions with neutrality, without judgment. It's about developing what we might call an inner witness, that part of you that can observe your emotions without completely identifying with them. When you feel anger, instead of thinking I'm an angry person or how awful I am for feeling this way, you simply observe, anger is present now. Interesting. What could be causing it? Embracing an emotion doesn't mean accepting it passively. It doesn't mean resignation. It doesn't mean saying, I'll be like this forever and there's nothing I can do about it. Embracing an emotion means acknowledging it. Yes, you're here. I see you. It means understanding it. Why did you appear? What are you trying to tell me? It means consciously investigating its origin. Where do you come from? What old wound are you touching? This observant gaze, this ability to be with one's emotions without being swept away by them, marks a higher level of spiritual and emotional maturity. It's like learning to swim. When you don't know how to swim and you fall into the water, you panic, you fight against the water, and the more you fight, the more you sink. But when you learn to swim, you relax, you work with the water, not against it, and then you float, you move gracefully. The same is true of emotions. When you fight against them, you sink. When you learn to work with them, to understand them, to honor them, you float. You find balance. Through deep self-knowledge, careful observation, and constant practice, because this is a practice, not a one-time event. It's possible to adjust how we deal with our internal conflicts. It is possible, with time, to react in healthier ways. It is possible to feel jealousy and choose not to act on it. It is possible to feel fear and choose to be brave anyway. It is possible to feel sadness and choose to keep moving forward. By embracing even what bothers us, by embracing the parts of ourselves that we prefer to reject, we open space for genuine transformation. We open space for deep understanding. We open space for real growth. And here's something essential. Trust that everything in life has a purpose and a greater meaning. Even your most difficult emotions are teaching you something. Even your internal conflicts are opportunities for growth. You are not your emotions. You are the consciousness that observes them. And the more you strengthen that observing consciousness, the freer you become. If these words brought you peace, subscribe to the Messages from the Soul channel and leave a like. Together, we can spread more faith and love. May God bless you with patience to observe your emotions. May He give you wisdom to understand them. And may He fill you with compassion for yourself, for all parts of you, including those that are still learning to live in peace. You are exactly where you need to be, and every emotion you feel is part of the journey. Embrace yourself, understand yourself, love yourself.